watching the award-winning GHS-TV, a nationally recognized student television station.
Thanks for tuning in to Medical Talk. I'm Betty LaMarr. Joining me today is Laura Wegner, owner of the Raw Girls, and we are talking about good nutrition for healthy living. Well, hello, Laura Wegner. How are you?
I'm well, Betty. Thank you for having me today.
Oh, I'm just excited to have you here. I was telling a friend of mine yesterday, I want to be just like her when I grow up. And speaking of being just like her, tell our viewers who you are as it relates to our topic of discussion today.
Well, thank you again. I'm Laura Wegner. I am a chef, a registered nurse, and an entrepreneur. I've had a really interesting journey to get here as the owner of Raw Girls. We've spoken before, and I started out as a chef, like I said. I loved cooking for people. It was, it made people happy. It's how I gave back, and I just really enjoyed every bit about it. I had a transitional period in my life where my grandmother was ill, and what I did to help support her through that illness was cook for her. I just cooked and cooked and cooked, and I researched all the best meals, nutritional value meals that I could give her. And unfortunately, it was cancer. It was terminal, and it was very progressive. So she passed away, and I came home to a refrigerator full of food. And so it just hit me. I wanted to do more. And I saw the nurses caring for her throughout that process, and I knew there was something more I could do. So that year I enrolled in nursing school. And I've been a nurse for about 10 years now. Found my way to surgery. And again, I love that as well. I mean, again, I'm giving back. I'm taking care of people, and that just is really fulfilling to me. But I found my way into a leadership position, which was great. But I would sit at my desk and look at all my patients come by. They're coming for surgery, and they didn't have to have that surgery if they took better care of themselves from the beginning. If they worked on preventative medicine, then we wouldn't be here at this treatment having these very invasive procedures. It really just kind of came all back to food and nutrition, because that's how you prevent these illnesses.
Full circle back.
Exactly. An opportunity came. Raw Girls was established by two women here in Memphis, and they were ready to, transition themselves. And I was able to acquire the business, thankfully, and carry on that torch. And again, transition my nursing practice from treatment to prevention now, and really going back to the basics.
Yeah, I remember Laura seeing the write-up in the newspaper, that they was, stepping away for a while to do other things. But how did you find out about it? Because they didn't even announce in the paper who had acquired the business.
Yes, yeah. They actually, in August, put up a Facebook post that they were shutting down the business. And I was a client. I mean, I love the food.
Okay.
I love everything they're doing. So I saw the Instagram post and emailed them immediately, like, if there's any way possible that you would be willing to sell, I'm your buyer.
Okay.
And through, it was a couple months process, and we were able to get it finalized and closed. And I'm just really honored to carry on that torch.
Okay.
The business has been around 15 years, which I have to say is incredible for any food industry, any food business in particular, but especially a plant-based, gluten-free, healthy food business here in Memphis, of all places. I think it's very important to carry that on.
Okay, well, let's talk a little bit in this first segment about the physical, how eating well affects your physical, because you was talking about the people that are going to surgery that so how does that affect you physically when you eat well, eat good food?
It's head to toe, mind, body, spirit.
Okay.
Good nutrition affects everything. You are what you eat. And if you eat poor nutritional food, and
you go into surgery.
Yeah, you're not going to feel very well. Let's think about inflammation. I think is the root cause of all bad diseases, right?
Is it true it's connected with
Chronic
cancer
diseases.
as well?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. Chronic inflammation,
Okay.
your body's natural response is a little bit of inflammation to injury and things like that.
Yes.
And that's acute. But when
Okay.
it's over a long period of time,
Okay.
your body can't compensate for that. And that's where it causes cancer, it causes heart disease, it causes all sorts of imbalances in your body, and you don't feel good. But when you're doing this over a lifetime, you don't realize that you don't feel good.
Oh, okay, because it's just this is it.
You don't know any other way, right?
Okay.
So I think there's a huge disconnect between what we put in our bodies and what we eat. We're so used to eating out of bags, we don't even see what we're eating,
That's
or
true.
we're eating our little burger on the go driving. I mean, you're just not connected to what you're putting in your body anymore.
Well, that's true, because
It's
I thought
fast
about
and
you
convenient.
yesterday. When you go to the store, you're standing in line and right there at the checkout, because nothing but snacks and candy, and I'm like, and so I end up getting a bag of Cheetos. So I'm being honest. So while I was sitting there eating the Cheetos in my recliner, I'm like, oh, I'm interviewing Laura tomorrow. I have to be honest, until I eat those Cheetos, I was like, oh, this is not a raw girl kind of a thing here. So, of course, we're going to go into more mental health. So when we say raw girls, when I think of raw girls, in my mind, I think of raw food. Sort of give me an example of what a good diet looks like before we leave this segment.
Whole foods, I would say number one. You're eating things that don't require a label. That's a good thing, right? You're eating an actual vegetable and an actual a food item that's not processed. Yeah,
So,
not Cheetos.
So you almost have to be a chef, right? Okay, well, this is what we're going to do. We're going to take a break, and we're going to come back, and we're going to go, because I want you to sort of, when you say Whole Foods, I want you to when we come back, I want you to break down
Certainly.
an idea of what, if I'm sitting down at dinner, what my plate actually look like for those people. When you say Whole Foods, they don't know what that means, okay?
Yeah.
Me. Okay. Stay tuned for more medical talk.
You're watching the award-winning GHS-TV, a nationally recognized student television station.
I'm your moderator, Brandon Sewell, coming to you live from the campus of Germantown High School.
So GHS-TV tries to model a real working station.
I really thought it was cool when I first started studio and all the opportunities that it was able to provide for me.
That would be 36 out of 36.
It's a rigorous class that demands a lot from students.
At times, you are going to be thrown into the fire to where you're just going to have to figure it out yourself.
Which is really great, because then we gain more knowledge. Our teachers will give us how to start, but then we're left to make up the whole entire process.
It just seems to me it's not enough space in the beginning. If it's not, let's figure out what we can do.
They can be a producer, they can be a director, they can work graphics and learn audio. They can go out and shoot field reports.
Akila, back to you.
And it's a challenge to throw them into the environment and say, here's a camera, go out and record this interview and some B-roll. But those are the challenges that grow students to do bigger projects.
Welcome to Red Devil Newsbeat.
In GHS-TV, we have a variety of shows. We have Crosstalk.
Hello and welcome to a new season of GHS-TV's award-winning talk show, Crosstalk.
We have Insider, which is all about Germantown.
Welcome to GHS Insider, the show that's all about the G.
Cut to Win and Q Talent.
Wake up, Germantown. It's Wednesday, April 5th. I'm Colin Ewing.
Some things that I've learned from this class is that how to work as a team.
We learn how to communicate better with people.
Something I'll take with me from in the future is their slogan, check, double check, and check again.
There's so many different things you can do here. I would say take risks. Push yourself further than you think you can go, and we will help guide you there.
Go Red Devils!
For more information about the Kappa program, visit ghskappa.com or call 755-7775. You're watching the award-winning GHS-TV, a nationally recognized student television station.
Welcome back. You're watching Medical Talk with Betty LaMarr and my special guest, Laura Wegner, owner of Raw Girls. Okay, now, Laura, we're back. Now, I want you to just sort of give me a, if you will, tell me what it would look like to have a plate in front of me. It's healthy, as you would say, whole food. What would that look like on your plate? Fried chicken? I love for you to laugh.
Ooh.
No.
Maybe not fried chicken.
Okay.
Now, there
right.
are ways to make fried chicken a little bit healthier and things to do.
Okay.
Still get your crunchy chicken, but you know, I'm personally plant-based, so I stick with, you know, no non-chicken. But anyway,
okay.
Whole foods means actual food that, well, for me, being a plant-based person, is a vegetable that comes from the ground. There is not a need for a nutritional label. It's broccoli, it's an apple, it's a carrot, it's lettuce.
Okay.
So eat as much whole foods as possible. So whole food could be chicken or an egg and things like that if you do choose to eat meat products. So we try to get to the truest form of that food as possible.
Okay.
That makes sense.
Yes.
And
like back to the basics.
Yeah, back to the basics.
Like Adam and Eve eating from the garden.
Yep.
Okay.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, minimize oils, you can still do seasonings and things like that because, you know, I mean, cayenne pepper, that's a pepper, it's ground.
Yes.
So that's a whole food technically. I mean, it's a little process when you grind it and dry it and all that stuff, but it's still good for you. Actually, it's an anti-inflammatory.
Okay.
But
question.
I digress.
Okay, question. Okay, what do you do with the, like you said, the lettuce and all those from the garden? How do you prepare them for them to be healthy? Because people do cook vegetables, but they still may put meats in.
Certainly.
So how would you prepare just vegetables out the ground, I guess? Just give me sort of an example of something that people may cook, prepare, but they don't do it healthy.
Greens.
Yeah.
Is a great example because they're loaded with pork and fat, and they're cooked to death. And you're cooking out all the nutritional value from those greens.
Okay.
So this is a great question. You know, raw is fantastic if you can eat your foods raw, and there's tons of ways to prepare them. I mean, it's a whole world of raw food, which I find very interesting. And as a raw girl, we have a lot of raw food products on our menu.
Really?
We do. It's that raw desserts, I think, are the best.
Oh,
yes.
I can't wait.
They're so good.
Okay.
And then, so you want to stay, again, true to the form of the food as possible. The next best way to prepare your food would be steaming. And so kind of stay on that path. The worst, well, I don't want to say the worst way of cooking, but the more inflammatory land is grilling. Hot flames, charred bits of meat, they produce a lot of inflammation in the body. So raw to steaming, boiling, and then, you know, like a scale here if we're talking, you know, good to bad, right? So raw, steaming, boiling, and then like sauteing, you know, grilling and all that oven, kind of here on the more inflammatory side of cooking methods.
Okay, I think what would help me a lot is, you know, when I actually visit Raw Girls, and then you know, I'm a visual person, so once I order and see, then I'll know exactly what to do.
Yeah.
Because I do want to eat well. But let's go into, you know, mental health. You know, everything revolves around mental health, and mental health revolves around everything. So let's talk about that healthy eating, and how that affects us mentally.
Absolutely. You know, they say that your gut is your second brain. Your gut produces all your serotonin, your happy hormones. And so when you're having a bad diet, you don't have a good, healthy gut microbiome. A lot of these inflammation foods and these meats, you know, they are not good for your gut microbiome. So when you're eating healthy and you're on a plant-based diet, you can have better serotonin levels and clarity of mind. You know, it does decrease depression rates and things like that. And fatigue and brain fog and things like that are cleared up when you have a healthier diet.
Okay, say if you've been eating the wrong diet, like forever, okay? So can you actually turn that around at any point? It's not at a point of no return unless you're already on the table in surgery?
Correct. Yeah, I mean, you 100% can reverse this, and that's what you know, people changing their lives through their diet and through different procedures and things like that. I mean, obviously, you know, gastric bypasses and sleeves,
Yes.
weight loss surgeries are an extreme method, but sometimes it's necessary, and that's perfectly fine. But you 100% can turn it around. You can decrease the inflammation. You can work on a better quality, longer life.
Well, do
through
you,
your diet.
because we get about to wrap up this segment, I don't want to forget to ask this question. Do you have catering and where are your locations, if you will, for those out there that may want to know? Because I don't want to forget, because we're going to go into some practical tips.
Yeah, thank you. So we have a food truck at Poplar and Yates. It's
Yes.
5502 Poplar Avenue. And it's really more of a retail store. So it's a grab and go situation. And we've got our cold pressed juices are always fresh. Salads, nutrition bowls.
Salads.
Yes. And like I said, our desserts are just divine.
Okay. Okay. Ooh. Okay, we're jumping right back to that, okay? Because they giving me a signal we have to go to break, but we're starting right there, right?
Okay.
Okay, so we'll be right back. Stay tuned. Stay tuned for more medical talk. Watch this space.
Cut to one and cue talent.
The GHS Fine Arts Department is composed of 6 different disciplines, including instrumental music, which is both band and the strings or orchestra.
My belief is that band is the life of the school. If the band's not fun, the school's not fun.
There's choral music with a variety of different levels for our students, from women's choir, an a cappella group.
So choir is an excellent opportunity for you to engage in the music making process and to create relationships and bonds with your fellow classmates.
We have our theater program, which includes acting and tech theater.
It'll teach you how to be a better communicator, it'll teach you how to work with people better, and it'll teach you how to get outside your comfort zone.
We have GHS-TV and the intro classes that go into GHS-TV.
You're watching the award-winning GHS-TV, a nationally recognized student television station.
Welcome to GHS Insider, the show that's all about the G.
So GHS-TV tries to model a real working station.
And we have a visual arts program that goes up into AP courses and also includes IB level.
I think the arts are really important because they provide students with that safe space where they can express themselves, they can be who they really want to be.
The specificity of what is taught and required to be learned here in this department is so particular that they're going away with abilities and skills that other schools aren't teaching.
For more information about the Kappa program, visit ghskappa.com or call 755-7775. You're watching the award-winning GHS-TV, a nationally recognized student television station.
Thanks for watching Medical Talk. I'm having a great conversation with Laura Wegner, the raw girl herself. Okay, Laura, now we're talking about raw food, healthy eating. I want to start this segment. We ended it with, talking about your wonderful salad, which I am en route when we leave the set today, for sure. Okay, now let's talk about just some practical tips in doing this segment. So just tell our viewers everything that they need to know about healthy eating, period. We need some tips.
Okay, so instead of deep frying, use an air fryer. It does a great job of crisping, and I'm a texture person, so the air fryer has been a lifesaver for me. And again, kind of going back to the cooking methods, try to just shift, different things, like frying to air frying, or from sauteing to maybe steaming. That's going to significantly decrease your calorie intake because oil is very calorie dense. Also in your type of oils, so instead of seed oils and corn oils, which are very high in inflammatory responses, choose avocado, olive oil, coconut oil is very good for you. Little swaps like that. Instead of going to get your Big Mac, stop by Raw Girls and get you a salad.
Okay. So what about a cabbage, because you mentioned greens. I like cabbage, but I've never, I was boiling mine, so honestly, I've never done it successfully. I remember I mentioned I don't cook, so, but I love cabbage. So if you was gonna do cabbage, how would you prepare that?
My go-to with cabbage, it's one of the staples in my refrigerator at all times, is I love to do an Asian slaw. So it's like a salad, but it's very hearty with that cabbage green. So it's got a really good bite to it. It lasts forever. And you put a nice little vinaigrette on there and good to go. Yeah, and you could add whatever you want. I love tofu, but you could put shredded chicken in there, a peanut sauce. I love lots of herbs to flavor things. So I think that's a good tip in itself, is using herbs and seasoning and spices to make your food more flavorful, so you enjoy it more. So you don't need the fat. You get, your
Okay, when I think about, and it's sort of sad because, everybody, some people say they can't afford to eat well, and my thing is we can't afford not to. It's like a double-edged sword.
It is.
So what is a practical tip for a person that maybe they feel like they cannot afford to eat well? Because most people say, well, if you go to Whole Foods and stores like that, the food is so expensive. So it's almost like if you're, I guess you would say, we'd use the word, for lack of a better word, a little bit disadvantaged or,
Absolutely.
minimum wage person. How do you eat well? Because you're going to go to wherever you can get something for $1 or $5. You're going to get a box of chicken for $5. So that's where you're going, right? So give us a practical tip to prepare foods if you're on a budget.
This is a great question. Plants are actually kind of cheap, and you look at it. You've got to pick and choose. If you want your, I don't even know the price of meat right now, but I know it's high. I mean, I hear people talk about all chicken is $10 a pound. I don't know. That's completely made up, but
no, it is, because I don't even
choose. Cabbage is like 89 cents a pound.
True.
So, but
good
also
for the gut, right?
Absolutely good for the gut.
Okay.
Pick what's in season.
Okay.
You can definitely do some coupon clipping. Aldi has a great, great produce selection. Eat local foods should keep the cost down, but definitely eat within season, because if you're trying to eat an avocado in the middle of December, it's been imported and it's going to have higher costs. So eat within season, I think, is the #1 tip for that. But when you eat majority plants, that is cheaper than meat. So just balance out your plate a little differently, maybe.
Okay. Well, some people say, like, I don't do a lot of meat. I really don't. Because when I look at the price, it's not whether I can afford it or not. It's like, I don't even like meat well enough to pay that much for this, right? So then they'll say, well, you have to get protein. So
that's my favorite.
So break that down.
Yes, you can get plenty of protein from a plant-based diet. I'm here to tell you. I weightlift every single day. I get plenty of protein. Proteins in broccoli, proteins in Brussels sprouts, proteins in edamame, and I get most of my protein probably from tofu, tempeh, seeds. It's in beans as well. I don't recommend those as primary protein sources, because they can kind of, when you have consumed too much of those things, they can wreak havoc on your system, or they're too calorie dense, or whatever it is. But Seton is a really good protein source for plant-based people as well, and it's incredibly affordable. I buy a 5-pound bag for $20, I think. There's plenty of protein within your plants and vegetables that I eat throughout the day. I mean, quinoa is high in protein, grains, there's all sorts of things that you can do. And then, of course, you can supplement if you need to, which I don't at this point, but with protein powders. So there's plenty of options out there.
So for those people that feel like, well, I have to eat meat. So what is it, going back to fried chicken, and I do use my air fryer now whenever I do use it. What is it about chicken that is so bad for you? Is it the skin, the oil, or what?
Good question. The skin is fatty. But I think when you're frying it, it's definitely the oil that you're deep frying. I mean, you're submerging that food item completely in oil, and it's just absorbing it. And also the high temperatures create what's called ages, and I can't say it out for you right now because I can't think of it, but it creates a dramatic inflammatory response within your body from those oils and the burning of it. Just I find very interesting, but just does not make your body feel good. It may taste good, you may
But
like
it don't feel good.
because
Okay.
it's nutrient dense. I mean, if we're going back to caveman survival days, our body craves things that are nutrient dense.
Okay, well, we're going to wrap this up until next time, because this is definitely will be a continuation for me, because I need to see you prepare food. I really do. Okay, now, real quick, Laura, give our viewers your locations again for Raw Girls if they want to come and check out Raw Girls and see what you all have going, like I will today for my salad.
Thank you, thank you. So Raw Girls is located in a food truck at 5502 Poplar Avenue. We deliver through Uber Eats. Our catering kitchen is downtown, so we deliver from that location as well as the food truck. We also do cleanses that we'll do delivery for. And yeah, we also offer catering as well, so we're here for all your needs.
All righty. Well, I thank you so much for joining me today. And again, I want to be like you when I grow up. I would like to thank Mrs. Laura Wegner, owner of Raw Girls, for joining me today. Thanks for watching Medical Talk with Betty LaMarr on GHS-TV. Remember, you can also watch Medical Talk on Fridays at 8 p.m. on Xfinity Channel 17. For more information on our programming, please check us out on the web at GHS-TV.org, where we are streaming live 24 hours a day. You can also check us out on Facebook and Instagram. I'm Betty LaMarr from all of us at GHS-TV. Thank you for watching Medical Talk, and I hope to see you again.